The Sims 3 is an amazing game that comes with hundreds of hours of content, but even though the game has so much to do, it's easy to get burned out if you play the same way for too long. Here are some things you can try to spice up your Sims 3 gameplay and hopefully get you back in the game. First on my list is to experiment with mods. Mods obviously are one of the biggest ways to change your game. The modding community for Sims 3 is one of the best, and there are tons of cool mods to try that can really flesh out your game. I have a little more than 20 in my mods list right now that do things like tuning the romance, adding new features, and making my game more stable. If you want to see my updated list, be sure to check out my last video, which I'll also have linked down in the description. Mods are definitely a must-have in Sims 3, and thankfully they're super easy to get set up. This game is also very laggy on its own, so you pretty much need mods if you want to play. 10 out of 10 would definitely recommend. My next tip for you guys is to renovate lots or build your own from scratch. This is one of my favorite things to do in Sims 3. As soon as I start up a new save, I like to look around the world and see if there are any changes I can make to the community lots. Sometimes I'll rearrange and add new furniture, and other times I'll do a full renovation. This can really be a lot of fun, especially if you like building in The Sims. Honestly, it's so much fun to go around and redo these horrendous lots made by EA. Like, look at this library that's shipped with Roaring Heights. Who thought we needed 6 stories for this? And the Lucky Simoleon Casino is huge for absolutely no reason at all. I mean, the actual casino portion of this building is like the smallest room. It makes no sense. And I stopped playing my legacy save altogether because I built this really ugly mansion that I just hated to look at.
What the fuck is this piece of shit?
I spent some time rebuilding it the other day, and it was actually a lot of fun improving the layout. After I finished remodeling the house, I finally had the motivation to jump back into that save. Having your world optimized and laid out exactly how you want it can make it a lot more engaging and minimize issues with your game. And if you're lazy like me, you can just download a community-made lot fresh off the Sims 3 exchange. My next tip for you guys is to try out a challenge. Challenges are one of the most popular ways to play The Sims. One of the most popular challenges is the Legacy Challenge, where you play through the same family for 10 generations. There's also the Rags to Riches Challenge, where you start with no money and you work your way all the way up to being rich. There are tons of cool challenges that you can try out, and the really great thing about them is that you can play exactly how you want. You don't have to follow the same rules as everyone else. You can also make your own challenges, which can be a lot of fun too. Every time I try to make my own challenge, it usually devolves into my sim being a menace to everybody. Sometimes I like to set simple challenges for my sims, like maybe I want them to master a certain skill, and other times I'll do a huge challenge that can take a really long time, such as a legacy or a rags to riches. I found that it also can be a lot of fun to mix short-term and long-term challenges so that you're always working towards something. Master a new skill. With all the skills in Sims 3, there have to be some that you haven't fully maxed out yet. And I know this is true because after almost 200 hours playing Sims 3, there are still skills that I haven't even touched yet. A lot of these skills are hiding some really cool features too. Like, did you know you can build explosive devices with the inventing skill? Sims 3 would be cancelled if it came out today. You can also complete challenges for each skill to unlock cool perks for your sims. For example, under the charisma skill, there's the celebrity challenge that gives you a hefty bonus to every new relationship after you complete that challenge. Even if you've played with all the skills before, there's still a really good chance that you haven't completed all the challenges, which can give you something else to strive for in your gameplay. And not only this, but each challenge you complete is going to give you a really awesome bonus. The skill challenge thing is such a nice feature, and certain skills can come with some really solid bonuses. My next tip might sound obvious, but it's to explore the open world. This is the only Sims game where you can roam freely from lot to lot without a loading screen. And you also get a lot of cool bonuses when your sim visits community lots. For example, when your sim visits the library or goes to the gym, they'll actually get a boost to their skills. And depending on which expansions you have, there are a ton of different ways for your sims to interact with the open world. If you have ambitions, the professions that come with the pack make very great use of the open world, and they're tons of fun to play around with. The ghost hunter profession is one of my favorites, and the music and the foggy atmosphere almost make it feel like you're playing a different game. The investigator is also a very fun profession that has you digging through people's trash and going through their mail. I love it. One of my favorite worlds right now for open world gameplay is Riverview. I've had a lot of fun bouncing around from lot to lot, and I really love how they design the community lots here. This little strip down by the city hall is such a cool area to hang out in, and with the lot population mod by Lazy Duchess, it's always packed with Sims. A lot of the EA worlds in Sims 3 felt pretty mediocre, but they did a great job with Riverview. Good job, EA. That leads me to my next tip, which is to try out a new world. Whether it's one you haven't played in a while, or just trying a new one completely. If you've been playing through the same save file for a long time, the world can start to get stale as you visit the same lots over and over again. Starting a new world is one of the easiest ways to revitalize your game and get you excited to play. You can actually download free worlds from the Sims 3 Exchange, which is basically the Sims 4 gallery. Just search up Sims 3 Exchange and you'll be able to find the website. And when you're looking for worlds to download, make sure you set the filters to all-time downloads. A new world can really switch up the vibe and make you get excited to play the game. A lot of these worlds also have a crazy amount of detail, with the households and community lots all being built from scratch. On the Exchange, you'll find worlds inspired by real-life cities, small mysterious islands, and so much more. My favorite world from the Exchange, which I've talked about many times, is Legacy Island 3. I've played this map for 9 generations of my Legacy challenge, and there's just so much for you to do. It includes lots from every expansion, making it the perfect world for any playthrough. You can also buy a new Sims 3 world that's made by EA. I'm not the biggest fan of these premium worlds, but I do like some of the gameplay items that come with them, such as the pizza oven that comes with Monte Vista. But I would definitely wait for a sale if you want to pick up any of these worlds. Do not spend the full $20. And if that's not enough, you can even design your own world completely from scratch using the Sims 3 Create a World tool. Playing a new world can completely change the vibe of your game and create some new gameplay opportunities. The worlds on the Sims 3 Exchange are so good that I've been using them almost exclusively. The only thing going for the EA Premium worlds is that most of them come with unique gameplay, like the wood fire oven that comes with Monte Vista. Even on sale though, these worlds go for $10 a piece, which is steep considering you can get a whole Sims 3 expansion for that same price. My next tip for you guys is to try rotational gameplay. If you've been playing with the same household for a really long time, things can really get repetitive and you get caught in the cycle of doing the same thing over and over again. Rotational gameplay really helps break up this monotony, and it lets you experience different aspects of the game. Switching households can have a huge impact on the vibe, and it can breathe new life into your save. Like sometimes I just want to play as my ultra rich Legacy family, and other times I just want to start from scratch, you know? I have so many save files that I bounce around now, it's kinda crazy. But I have been having a ton of fun with rotational gameplay, and it's definitely something you should try out. My next tip for you guys is to buy a new expansion. What? Normally, I would not recommend spending money on an EA game, but the Sims 3 expansions are definitely worth it. At the regular price of $20, there's really no way you can go wrong picking up a pack or two. And if you're patient enough to wait for a sale, you can even pick these up for around $10 a piece. Not only is this a steal for a Sims expansion, but these packs come with way more content than you'd ever find in a Sims 4 pack, all for a fraction of the price. I have every expansion for Sims 3, and the only ones I would tell you guys to stay away from are Into the Future and Showtime. The rest of them I'd say are well worth it. One of my favorite things to do when starting a new household is to create lore. I'll create this storyline in my head of exactly how I want the household dynamic to be like. This will really help you out when picking traits, outfits, and things like that. For this sister, I knew I wanted her to be a stuck-up, snobby little blonde, which is exactly why I chose these traits. When you make little storylines like this, it really makes the gameplay come a lot easier to you, and you feel more invested in the game. My next tip for you guys is to add new careers into your game. After you play the game for a while, the careers can really start to get repetitive as you play the same ones over and over. Even with all the expansions, there's not that many careers in the game. Luckily, you can add new careers in with mods. My favorite places to get careers right now are Mod the Sims and Missy Hissy's Job Center. A lot of these careers even come with their own tones and unique opportunities, making them feel just like the careers made by EA. Missy Hissy's Job Center also has new after-school activities and teen jobs for your children to experience. At the end of the day, these are all just rabbit holes anyways, but it's still a nice touch to have new career paths in the game. My next tip for you guys is to check out the items on the Sims 3 store. If you've never been on the site before, there are actually a lot of really cool items here that can switch up the vibe of your game, like a portable tablet, a free throw machine, a cow corral, and so much more. There are also the playpen and the walker, which are two must-have items for raising toddlers. The store also has some really cool venues, like the business as usual bistro. This lot comes with the industrial oven, which basically lets you build functional restaurants in Sims 3. This is a huge addition because the only restaurants we have in the game are rabbit holes. You can even find the infamous cow plant on the Sims 3 store. Like I said, I don't recommend throwing your money at EA, but the store does have a lot of really cool items to add to your game. And if you're looking for a way to get some free sim points, you're in luck. Down in the description, I'm going to link a video that I used to get myself some free sim points, all 100% legit. This should help you out and get you going with your first few items. My next tip is going to be look through the Sims 3 exchange. Now, one thing I've realized is that most new Sims 3 players have no idea what the Sims 3 exchange even is. I didn't even find out what the Sims 3 exchange was until months after I had already owned the game. I've talked about this before on my channel, but if you don't know, the exchange basically works like the Sims 4 gallery, where players can upload everything from Sims to lots to the custom worlds that I mentioned earlier. This is a great way to add new stuff to your game for free, and it's always nice to have a house that's built by somebody who knows what they're doing. Just the fact that you can find custom worlds on the Sims 3 exchange still blows my mind to this day. I also like downloading the community made Sims, which look a lot nicer than the ones I come up with. And my final tip for you guys is to make the game more difficult. You can do this by using negative traits with your Sims, or you can set restrictions on the way your Sims can make money. I don't have any problems with the difficulty in Sims 3, but some people feel like it's really easy to make money in the game. If that sounds like you, then you should definitely try to make your game harder. Not only do negative traits make your gameplay a little bit more difficult, but they also make the game a lot more entertaining. There are also some mods you can use to make the game more difficult, such as a mod to make careers pay out less, a mod that charges you for using taxis, and a mod that only lets your Sims cook food if they have groceries in the fridge. Not only do these add more difficulty to the game, but they also add a sense of realism. There you have it, guys. Hopefully I gave you some good ideas that you can use on your next playthrough. After taking a long break from Sims 3, I'm finally obsessed with the game again, and I've realized that I have the most fun when I embrace the randomness and try new things. Let me know what you do to make your game more interesting if there's anything I missed, and thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great day.